Hi, my name is John Kim, and I'm a therapist who went through his own rebirth. I share my feelings and revelations. I believe in casual over clinical and with you instead of at you. I come unrehearsed on purpose because self-help doesn't have to be so complicated. So I used to highly encourage people to not come to Los Angeles because I'm selfish. I want the city to myself, and it's growing, and there's tons of traffic. There's been an exodus from New York, and there's just tons of people coming in here. And I've secretly wanted an earthquake so people would get scared and leave. That is truth, but I'm also going to announce that I've had a change of heart. You know that Biggie song, I live out here, so don't come here? I forgot what song it is, but he's talking about New York. By the way, I think he had it wrong. New York is the great place to visit. LA is the best place to live. I'm bumping fists with Tupac right now because I'm from LA, grew up in LA, know nothing but LA. I love LA. Can't imagine living anywhere else. Anyway, okay, so this is not an advertisement for Los Angeles. This episode's going to be about, or this episode's going to help, this is my intention, anyone who is coming to Los Angeles, because there's a lot of that happening, and trying to start a life. Now, if you're not doing that, don't turn this podcast off because you may be in transition, or you may be moving somewhere else and trying to start over or build a life. And if so, there will be some tips in here for you. So I am using Los Angeles as the case study, but I think so many people today are starting over, moving somewhere new, and it's really hard, especially as adults, to make new friends and to build a life. So that's what this episode's about. And I have to go fast because I've got a lot of tips, but I'll try to give you a few tips, and hopefully they will help you. So one, I think that this is happening on a macro level because just the internet allows people to work from home, and so because of that, we now have the freedom to move around. We can, travel. We can work while we're traveling. We can get up and move to a different city. It's not like before where we were just kind of stuck wherever we work. Now we can be mobile, we can be nomadic. And so because of that, I think there's a lot of people following their dreams, traveling, and also moving to new areas. But when they get there, many of them fall into a depression because they can't build a life, and they isolate themselves, or they feel lonely, all of that. I also have clients who are in this situation. And then just to kind of go macro, I think the reason why there's an exodus from New York and everyone's coming to LA is because I think that, I don't know if you've been to New York, but I think New York is amazing for when you're in your 20s, maybe 30s. And then I think it gets old. And then I think it's amazing for if you're older, if you're like, 60, 70, 80. And I'll tell you why. So I think that in your 20s, when you move to New York, the energy is exciting, and you could get a slice of pizza for $1. And when you're 20, you have a lot of tolerance, so you could eat top ramen and live like sardines in a studio apartment, and that's okay because in exchange you're getting, you get to go out, and there's excitement, the energy, all of that stuff, right? You don't need a car. But I think as you turn, 30, 35, that shit gets old very fast. And now you're craving kale and a backyard. And that's why I think there are so many people coming to Los Angeles now from New York. I think it's a generational thing. I think that everyone who went to New York in their 20s now are in their 30s, and they're like, I'm done. I need space. So they're all coming to Los Angeles. And a few of these are my clients. And so here's the thing: when you come to LA, or you start over, you go anywhere. I want to remind you that the worst thing you can do is isolate yourself. And this is what's hard. It takes effort, right? Friendships don't come naturally. It's hard to build your tribe as an adult. When we were kids, it's different because it was very plug and play. We just had to go to school. There were camps. There were, social structures that were implemented and threaded into our lives. As an adult, it's like we have work, and if you work from home, then you have to go out and find your tribe. So here are some tips. And I'm starting with this because I think it's one of the most important. After you find out where you want to live, and by the way, make sure that it fits who you are. So, just to break it down real quick, in LA, there's the east side and the west side. It's basically water or the hills. The west side is the ocean, and that's Venice, Santa Monica, maybe Culver City. That's where the water is. And then the east side, which is becoming really popular, is the hills. So that's Los Feliz, Silver Lake, Echo Park, and it's continuing to move eastward as rent gets more expensive and all of that. I think there's more poetry on the east side, more artists. You're close to downtown and the arts district, and then on the west side, obviously, water, surfers, but also like tech and startups and wellness and all that. So wherever you decide to land, and you shouldn't just think about the cost of the rent. You should really consider the environment, what's in your environment, the tone of the environment, the kind of people you want to hang out with. Make sure you consider all those things. And then once you have landed and you're now exploring, one of the biggest ways, or the greatest ways to build a tribe, is through the door of fitness. Now, assuming that you want to do fitness, and I hope you do, and it doesn't matter what kind of fitness. The thing about fitness is it's a daily routine, right? And so you're doing it a lot. I would recommend something like ClassPass, where you could actually taste a different types of fitness, right? It's like you go to the ice cream store and they give you the taster spoon. You get to do that, and when you do that, you could drop into and try all different types of fitness. And this is where you could have an open mind. You could try boxing and Pilates and yoga and CrossFit and all of these things, right? And there's so, I mean, in LA, it's endless how many different types of fitness there are here. So in doing that, make sure you're not the person going in and walking on a treadmill for 30 minutes with a Us Weekly under your arm, okay? You're taking classes. And the reason why you're taking classes, one, is to push you, because when you enter a class, you're not going to leave, hopefully, so you get that workout in, but also to socialize. One of the greatest things, or one of the things that brings me the most joy, is in the middle of the day, I go to my fitness clubhouse, and yes, I get my workout in and all that, but I also, just get to socialize and shoot the shit and bump chest and act stupid, and it just becomes my recess. And when that happens, you organically, naturally make friends. So small classes, not like 50 people classes, but like 12, 13, these intimate classes, those are really powerful to start making friends and building your tribe. The other one, and there's many types of apps and stuff. I'm just going to use the biggest, which is Airbnb. Airbnb experiences. So I, back in the day, was one of the beta people who ran an experience, but I've also used them. And the great thing about these little experiences, they're cheap, and they're going to connect you with people who have the same passion as you. So whether it's food or music or some kind of activity, for like the price of, a little bit more than a movie ticket, you can engage with real people, hang out. Everyone's there with a common bond, whatever that is, and a great way, again, to make friends. Ask for numbers. Even if you're especially if you're an introvert, it's going to be hard. Be outgoing, be the person in the room that changes the temperature. Don't wait for people to come to you. Just strike up a conversation. Ask for someone's IG handle, or and then you could DM them later, or whatever's comfortable for you. I just went out with a group of people for brunch last week, and some guy just hit me up, was like, "What's your number? Let's hang out." And I didn't find it weird. I was like, "Hey, here's my number." And now he's in my contacts as tall Indian guy, and that there's a joke behind that. But and then we're probably gonna hang out soon, and it's all feeding your social, natural human need, because we are tribal creatures. So all of that, to get you out of your house and to build your tribe. So I think that's one of the biggest things in transitioning and entering a new city or a new life, and I think it's something that people underestimate because as adults, we're like, oh, we don't need friends, especially if you're in a relationship, right? You're like, oh, it's just me and my man, and I don't need friends. Or maybe you just had a baby, and I get all that, and you maybe don't have time. Or maybe what brought you to Los Angeles or your new place of work is a job, and it's a career, and it takes a lot of time. I get all that, but you need some balance and you need people around you. And I'm telling you, once you start building a little tribe and it's authentic and they become really good friends, your quality of life is going to be exponentially higher, because I have experienced the kind of life where I am alone on purpose and just grinding and writing in coffee shops. And after about, after a few years of that, you start to turn invisible. You start to wonder what life is about. And listen, at the end of the day, I know I talk a lot, but I'm an introvert. I need my alone time. So, obviously all of that. But even introverts are human and we also need to be social. And I isolated myself. At the time, I was in a relationship, of course, which is great, but that's not enough, right? And she had a shitload of friends, right? I had none. I didn't think friends were important. Now today, I put effort into being social. I try not to say no to any kind of social invites, even if I don't want to go. And sometimes those are the best times that you have, or the unexpected, invite that you don't really want to go, but you go anyway, and it just turns out to be amazing, which is a great life lesson with judgment. So not judging and hanging out and all of that. I bought a motorcycle. I'm not saying for you to buy a motorcycle, but things like that, where that motorcycle is a ticket into a culture, a subculture, a common bond, right? Maybe you're a hiker. So then you get involved in hiking clubs, and now you're meeting people once a week, and you guys are all hiking together, right? So that's a great way to see LA, get some sweat in, and also meet people. One of the things I used to do was I created my own little dinner club. And in Los Angeles, as well as New York and a bunch of other places, food's a big deal, and food's a way to socialize. I invited, me and a friend created this. We called it Nine, and we invited nine people, strangers, once a month to my place. And it was like a potluck. It was amazing. And it was like, it was everyone from like an Uber driver we connected with to some of our best friends to complete strangers. And there was something really cool about like nine strangers eating dinner once a month. It was like the Breakfast Club, right? So I also ran an entrepreneurs group in my place. And so, if you're shy, or you don't want to go out there, you could create an event or a group or a gather at your place, and you could get that going. And you invite a few people, they tell their friends. You could start something online where it becomes goes from online to offline. So all of these things, I know they take work, but I just want to remind you that when you move to a new city, it's really easy to feel isolated, to feel alone. And then if you just bury yourself in work, yes, that may be okay for a while, but you're human, you need engagement. And if you're not making friends at work, then you're just coming home and suddenly you're just watching Netflix and you're eating a lot of ice cream, and then you feel shitty about yourself. And then here we go into the quicksand. So make it a priority to build your tribe. And these are some of the ways to do it. Thank you for listening. By the way, if you don't have my audio course on No More Unhealthy Relationships, then you could pick it up. And let me give you a discount code. This is like a 9-hour audio course. It's everything from codependency to attachment styles and all of that. And I really believe that we all have a responsibility to work on ourselves, whether you're in a relationship or not. So you bring more to the table, because we do a lot of blaming. We do a lot of, you need to do that, you need to do this. We need to start looking inward, using I statements, and we need to start doing our own work. So this can be the first domino of that. So check it out. Let me give you a discount code for 30% off, which makes it like the price of lunch, or maybe even a sandwich, depending on where you go. Love Hard, all caps. really easy. You could find it on my Instagram bio link or theangrytherapist.com. Thank you for listening. Hey, if you have a passion to help others and want to become a life coach, or you just want to acquire tools to change your own life, learn more about our Catalyst Life Coaching Intensive. We are an evidence-based training program with an amazing, authentic, vibrant community, and we give lifetime support. Just go to my website, theangrytherapist.com, and click on Life Coach Training. Hey, before you go, if you like my ramblings and revelations and shares, I am now texting people directly to their phone. Just go to my website, theangrytherapist.com. If you want to subscribe, I'll be doing weekly text 5 days a week, reminders, and also mindsets and exercises and challenges. And every week there will be a different theme, a different topic. So I hope to see you in your phone. And also, if you enjoyed this conversation, I hope you help me spread the dialogue and help other people by sharing it. You never know what people need to hear. So if it's helped you, I hope you can help me help others.